This Friday night, under the bright lights of Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, Sanders is stepping onto that field as the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in their preseason opener against the Panthers. No, this isn't some symbolic nod or a meaningless token start. This is the moment fans have been waiting for since draft night, when Sanders was shoved behind Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dillon Gabriel, the guys who, honestly, couldn't match his skill if their lives depended on it. Now, they're out, hurt, benched, or just resting on what they've done before, and Sanders is the last man standing. But here's the raw truth. This wasn't the Browns' grand plan, not by a long shot. They never wanted to hand him the keys. No, this is desperation. Injuries forced their hand, and suddenly, the kid they tried to bury is getting his shot to light the NFL world on fire. And when he does, there's no going back. The Browns franchise that tried to bury him might find themselves on their knees, bowing to their new QB1. All right, I'm launching a giveaway like never before. Think you know which Browns quarterback will start the first official game? Drop your prediction in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed, because 5 lucky winners will score a free game jersey. The more videos you comment on, the better your chances. Now let's continue the video from where we left off. Let me break down the story for you. From the jump, the Browns didn't draft Sanders to compete. They drafted him to quiet the noise, to hush the media circus after their owner, Jimmy Haslam, publicly distanced himself from the pick. The man basically said he didn't even want Sanders. That moment, it screamed volumes. The organization never saw him as a real threat. He was a placeholder, a marketing piece, a famous DNA bench warmer, QB4 on the depth chart, behind a flailing Kenny Pickett, an undersized Dillon Gabriel, and Joe Flacco, who's closer to coaching than actually playing. But when injuries sidelined those guys, what happened? The Browns had no choice but to turn to Sanders. This is what happens when you ignore raw talent. Politics, pride, and prejudice get in the way of football. Meanwhile, Sanders was grinding away on scout team, mimicking opposing quarterbacks, running plays against backup linemen with no protection. And still, he made noise. Now, with the Panthers game looming, it's time to see what happens when the guy you tried to silence finally gets a mic. This isn't just a preseason opener. This is a career-defining audition. The lights will be blazing, the pressure sky high, and every eye in the NFL will be locked on him. This isn't just about throwing passes, it's about proving every single doubter wrong. The Browns spent the offseason trying to keep him off the field, giving reps to quarterbacks who couldn't move the chains. They ignored his precision, downplayed his leadership, and acted like his 74% college completion rate was a fluke. Like his journey from Jackson State to Colorado to the NFL was just hype. Now, the excuses are gone. This is Sanders' moment of truth. He's facing a real NFL defense, carrying the weight of every doubt on his shoulders and fire in his chest. If he carves up the Panthers with the calm, deadly accuracy we saw in college, every limitation the Browns tried to pin on him will collapse in front of the world. And here's the kicker. He's doing this without first-team reps, without chemistry, without the weapons a starter deserves. Imagine what that says if he dominates anyway. Because if Sanders lights up that field on Friday, the Browns won't just have a quarterback controversy, they'll have a quarterback revolution. Let's cut the crap about the Browns' depth chart. Joe Flacco at the top. The guy's 40, slower than dial-up internet, and living off a Super Bowl ring from over a decade ago. That's not leadership. That's nostalgia holding the team hostage. Kenny Pickett, a busted promise injured, inconsistent, and hasn't practiced in weeks, yet somehow still ahead of Sanders. Dillon Gabriel, a college hero who can't handle NFL pressure, undersized, rattled, and now injured too. He's a depth piece, plain and simple. Meanwhile, Sanders has been sharp, composed, and efficient with scraps. No starter reps, no excuses, just clean, precise football. And now, despite all the politics, despite all the doubts, Sanders is about to show the world he's the real deal. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room, the disrespect that came straight from the top. When Browns owner Jimmy Haslam openly said he didn't push for Sanders' pick, it wasn't just careless talk. It was a calculated move to distance himself from a pick that was getting too loud, too cultural, too black, and too Deion Sanders. That statement sent shockwaves through the league, the media, and the Sanders family. A slap in the face to a young QB who hadn't even gotten a chance to prove himself. But if Sanders dominates on Friday, Haslam's words will come back to haunt him. And what about Tyler Huntley? That's signing. Not about depth or veteran leadership. It was control, insurance, to water down Sanders' shine if he dared to steal the spotlight. Huntley is a solid quarterback who manages games, but he's no franchise guy. He's a safety valve for the Browns to avoid fully committing to Sanders. Because if Sanders takes over even half a game and lights it up, the headlines write themselves. Fans demand answers. The locker room questions why the kid hasn't been given a real shot. The Browns don't want that smoke, so they brought in Huntley to dilute the moment. But it might already be too late. Sanders doesn't need the whole game, just one shot. This isn't just preseason anymore. This is history in the making. A rare turning point, not just for one player, but for the entire NFL culture. Because if Sanders takes the field Friday night and shows even a glimpse of the brilliance we've seen from him, it's a win for everyone who's been overlooked, doubted, or boxed in by the system. Think about it, a fifth-round pick who should have gone in the first. A black quarterback treated like a gimmick. A coach's son fighting to be seen as more than a primetime product. If Sanders shines, the narrative won't just shift, it'll blow up. Social media will erupt, debates will rage, and every political move, every questionable depth chart decision, every late Huntley signing will be dragged into the spotlight. People will ask, why wasn't this man given a real chance from the start? And once that door opens, it never closes. You can't hide your QB4 anymore. You can't explain him away with excuses. You either ride with him or face a full-on mutiny from fans, media, and players. This Friday isn't just a game. It's a statement, a spark, a revolution waiting to happen. If Sanders walks onto that field and delivers the way we know he can, the Browns won't just have a decision to make, they'll have a full-blown crisis on their hands. Because here's the harsh truth. Once a player proves himself on the big stage, you can't pretend the old hierarchy still makes sense. You can't say Flacco is the guy with a straight face. You can't keep trotting out Pickett and Gabriel like they're the future, while Sanders plays like a seasoned vet. This is the NFL. It's a performance league. And once a young QB shows he can handle the heat, you either elevate him or you expose yourself as a fraud. That's why the Browns are scared. They know Sanders has got the poise, the pocket presence, the command. This kid's been groomed for moments like this, not just by Deion Sanders, but by pressure, cameras, doubters, and haters. Every step of his journey has been about proving people wrong. And Friday night, that's his moment to do it on the biggest stage of his life. If he performs, the Browns can't undo it. They can't shove him back into the shadows. No more rookie bench duty. They'll have to choose: ride the future or risk losing everything to pride. And if they choose wrong, fans, media, and the locker room won't let them forget it. This is bigger than football, bigger than a depth chart. This is about justice. Because when Sanders takes that field Friday night, he's not just playing for a preseason win, he's playing for every slight, every cold shoulder, every rep denied, every whisper that called him just Dion's son. Every doubt from the front office that said he was backup material before he even took a snap. Now he's starting, not because they believed in him, but because they had no choice. That's the real story. This franchise did everything in its power to bury him, to protect fragile egos and outdated politics. But fate flipped the script. Injuries cleared the way, and the one quarterback they tried to hide, he's the only one left standing. And the best part? Sanders is ready. Calm, focused, deadly accurate, built for moments like this. If he delivers, the Browns can't ignore it. They can't shove him back into the shadows. Because once the fans see it, once the league sees it, once the Panthers feel it, it's over. The Browns might have written him off, but Friday night, Sanders picks up the pen and starts writing his own story. You're not going to believe this, but we just got a game-changing update out of Cleveland, and I need to walk you through what it really means. Because this is not just your typical preseason rotation. This is a signal, a statement. And if you're paying attention, it tells you everything about how the Browns view Shedeur Sanders right now. Now look, I've already done a couple uploads today, so when this news broke, I was mid-edit, halfway through a thumbnail, but I stopped everything. Because Sanders is officially starting the Browns' first preseason game this Friday. Let me repeat that: starting. Not getting mop-up duty. Not just some late third-quarter reps against guys who'll be working at Home Depot by September. Number Sanders is starting. All right, I'm launching a giveaway like never before. Think you know which Browns quarterback will start the first official game? Drop your prediction in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed, because 5 lucky winners will score a free game jersey. The more videos you comment on, the better your chances. Now let's continue the video from where we left off. And listen, I didn't see this coming. I genuinely thought they were going to be cautious. I thought maybe we'd see him in the second half, just to ease him in. But no, they're throwing him into the fire, against Carolina's first-team defense. And that tells me one of two things. Either the Browns want a real, unfiltered look at what Sanders can do against real NFL starters, or they're giving him an honest-to-God shot to make some noise in this quarterback room. Now let's break this down. No Dillon Gabriel, no Kenny Pickett, no Joe Flacco. They're all expected to sit. This is Sanders' stage, and when he exits, it'll probably be Tyler Huntley cleaning up the second half, which makes sense, especially since Sanders has been dealing with some shoulder soreness lately. So no, he's probably not playing all 4 quarters. But that's not the point. The point is that the Browns just handed a rookie 5th-round pick the keys to the offense, even if just for a half. And don't get it twisted. Most rookies in Sanders' shoes wouldn't sniff this kind of opportunity in their first preseason game. I don't care what round you were drafted in. This is rare. This is big. And yeah, I know some people are out here still crying conspiracy, saying the Browns are hiding him, sabotaging him, refusing to give him a shot. You still feel that way now? Because this looks like a team that's not just giving him a shot. They're clearing the runway and saying, "Let's see what you got, kid." But let me ground this in reality too, because I know how this goes. The expectations around Sanders are through the roof. Some fans expect him to walk out there and instantly light it up. And while I get the excitement, I'm excited too. We've got to be fair. Let's talk context. He's going up against Carolina's first-team defense, and he's not exactly getting Cleveland's first-team offense to back him up. I'm talking about second-team offensive linemen, maybe even some third-stringers. No Jerry Jeudy, no Njoku, probably no Jerome Ford. His receivers, Deontay Johnson, maybe Cedric Tillman. His backs? You're likely looking at Dylan Sampson or Amari Marshall. That's who he'll be rolling with. So this is ones versus twos. This is a tilted field. So here's where I stand. If he struggles, I'm not panicking. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh no, this guy's a bust," because anyone being honest would admit it's a tough ask. But if he plays well, if he moves the ball, makes good decisions, keeps his cool under pressure, man, then we might really have something here. Because this game is what I call a can't-lose scenario. It's not win or go home. It's win or learn. That's it. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. Because this test against a live starting NFL defense, it's going to reveal two huge things about Sanders' development, two areas I've been watching closely at camp. First, his pocket habits. This was a big red flag in his Colorado tape. He used to bail out backwards, try to roll out too often, especially to his left. It wasn't sustainable. But in training camp, I've seen real progress. He's staying more composed. He's not rolling out unnecessarily. He's not doing that whole spin and pray routine. Instead, he's starting to trust the pocket. He's learning to step up, not flee. And that's the second key, the step-up game. That slight forward movement under pressure. The difference between taking a sack and hitting your second read. I talked about this during the college breakdowns. He needed to develop that next layer. And in practice, I've seen glimpses. He's starting to get it. Now preseason, that's where we see if it sticks when live bullets are flying. The footwork, the internal clock, the rhythm, that's all going to be tested. And here's the truth, the accuracy, that's never been my concern with Sanders. The kid can throw. What I want to see is whether those edge-of-the-pocket moments from practice translate into real-time decisions under live pressure. That's the NFL difference maker. Now don't get me wrong, he might only play a quarter. He might make one big throw or two and then hit the bench. But that could still be enough. Because this isn't about numbers. This is about how he commands the moment, how he handles chaos, how he reacts when the pocket collapses, the routes break down, and the defense is flying at him full speed. That's the test. That's what I'm watching for.